Hello everyone, welcome to Newmarket, the home of British racing. For episode 4 on the road to Delmar. I've been invited here by Breeders' Cup, although to be quite frank, this time in the morning, I've absolutely no idea why. So let's waste no more time as we welcome you to the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series show. Right, I'm Matt Chapman, and I'm sure you're as curious as I am why I'm up at this ungodly hour. The clock says 6:29. That is too early for me. Well, there is a good reason, because this is a smasher of an episode. We have one of the world's great trainers. We bring you racing from Korea, Canada, Ireland, and of course, the USA. But oh no. Another challenge is on its way. Is this the reason why I'm up so early? Good morning, Matt. I trust this morning was a slightly tough wake-up call. Yes, it was. Didn't find that amusing myself. Don't worry. This little challenge we have for you should blow the cobwebs away. We know you often watch those in racing from afar. Yep, that's fair. And I've done so for a long time. Well, long-ish. Obviously, I'm still a very youthful presenter. So we want you to gather a bit of experience in the hot seat and do a morning's work at a yard of your choice in Newmarket. That sounds all right. I'm going to ride a horse, aren't I? Right. We have nothing else specific to say. Good. I need to remind you that we expect you, this doesn't sound so good, not to refuse any work you're offered. All the best. Don't get that Breeders' Cup vest dirty, please. I like this, actually. The Breeders' Cup team, which is a team that I am going off rapidly. Right, okay, while I get on with that, why don't you enjoy Irish Champions Weekend?
From Delacroix, they go close home. Great impact again, confirmed superiority over Delacroix. In front now is Porter Fortune, and away she goes from Fallen Angel Soprano. Porter Fortune is the winner.
Incredible. She's put together a fantastic season. You know, she was just touched off in the Guineas and then wins 3 Group 1s in a row. So any horse that can do that is special. It's great exposure for me to have a good one for some American owners, and thanks to them I've gotten some more into the yard, and so hugely grateful to them.
Well, I watched her run her first race and extremely impressed, and we contacted the breeder, which was Donica's mom, and we asked if she was interested in selling, and she was, and we were fortunate enough to be able to get a filly that's just, course of a lifetime. We'll never find anything like her again.
This is a super filly, and I just love her determination. We're excited to get a win in your end. That means a lot to come all the way from Ireland, and we're excited to get back to the Breeders' Cup.
Economics in between horses. These fight out the finish. Running on is Los Angeles. Economics in Augusta again. Economics!
I don't think we've seen him fulfill his true potential yet. Interesting after he's won a Group 1, but I think there's a lot more to come.
Any one of the 5 in the wide layer, and down the outside it is Lake Victoria who's claimed them all.
Obviously, we always want to be in the Breeders' Cup with the best of our horses all the time when they're well. It's where everyone wants to be at that time of the year. Horses all over the world meet and we can compare them.
Bretzel and Holly Doyle in the lead, and now moving away. Racing up towards the finish, it is Bretzel the leader. Letting hope believing with Bretzel.
So I'm here at the yard of Charlie Fellows. This used to be the home of Luca Comani. You'll remember him winning the Breeders' Cup Mile back in the day with the mighty Barathea. And he also suffered one of the most unlucky defeats in Breeders' Cup history when Falbrav turned for home in the turf looking all over the winner, only to get picked up by a couple late on. It's one of the most beautiful yards in the United Kingdom, but this bit of it stinks. it's not beautiful at all. This is what they call the muck pit, and this is where they told me to go. So thank you, Charlie, for letting me into your beautiful yard. Thank you, Breeders' Cup, for this incredible challenge of basically being a mucky cleaner-upper person. Just filth. Anyway, I'm here to do a job, so I'm going to do it. I've got my wheelbarrow and I'm cleaning the muck up. I wish people would put rubbish in the bin. That would save me having to do this kind of thing. But your setter challenge, I do like icy biscuit rings. They're always quite good. You set a challenge and you do it to the best of your ability. So, yeah, thank you, Breeders' Cup. I'm just going to get on with my mucky work. Oh, jeez. Take pride in your work. When I sat in that office at Breeders' Cup, no one said anything about this. Nothing at all. Well, I'm doing all this work for free. Thank you, Breeders' Cup. Thank you, Charlie Fellows. But I can't really believe that you are enjoying seeing me in a muck pit. So let's go back to one of those beautiful dreams that I sometimes have. No, not one of those dreams. A beautiful dream I sometimes have. And it's about one of the world's great trainers who is on the verge of retirement. I think you're going to love this. Why are you looking at my hair like that, Michael?
I just thought, it could be done better.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
So a real treat here at Breeders' Cup to talk to Sir Michael Stoute. Sir Michael, 8 Breeders' Cup winners. But when you won your first with 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 in 1996, it was on your 15th attempt. Well, it's perhaps not a great start to an interview, but in some ways, doesn't that show how difficult it is to win Breeders' Cup races?
Well, it shows how unsuccessful we were for a very long time.
And they're off.
I'd always loved the idea of the Breeders' Cup, and we were getting very frustrated until we came along at Woodbine and got a 1-2.
𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 in second, 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 winning, Swain back in the field. I mean, it was a great race.
It was a very high-class race.
𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 to the attack with the furlong to go. Down toward the inside, it's Swain. They're coming inside the final 16th now. 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 at the throw edge of 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙. 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 takes the lead in the shadow of the wire. 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 is the winner by a length.
Not everyone watching this show will be old enough to remember these two horses, but these were at their time the great middle distance horses, weren't they, going head to head in America?
Yeah, they were serious horses. They had great temperaments and travelled well, great constitution. They were doing Japan and California and everything.
We didn't think there was much between them. This is a remarkably tough horse who has just continued to progress through the year,
I wanted to talk about 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙 because aren't there great stories about you walking the track with Johnny Murtagh with 𝙍𝙤𝙖𝙙?
And Gary Stevens. We're walking the track with Gary, and he's telling Murtagh how to be patient, that what a long straight it was. And Murtagh came in when he won the race. He says, when I turned in, I just thought I was a little too far back, and I thought, I just hope this straight is as long as Gary Stevens says it is.
Still running in third. 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 with the flying finish. Fantastic Light is coming too. Here comes John's Call. Here comes 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙. Quad resolve next up. Here's the line. 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 caught him right at the wire.
And it was a great result for that horse. And mixing 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙 and 𝙍𝙖𝙖𝙙, the one thing about your 8 Breeders' Cup winners that I noticed they all had in common is they were all owner breeders, which has been a real, back of your career, these legendary owner breeders.
Yeah, we were very lucky, we had these owner breeders that provided us with some great stock, sound, honest horses.
Islington was a good horse as well for Ballymacoll.
Yeah, she was very good. She was unlucky in her first Breeders' Cup, and then she put things right at Santa Anita.
The filly and mare turf.
Islington under a rousing ride here by Karen Fallon. Islington with a short lead coming down to the line. Ron Press will be second best. Islington wins.
And speaking of the jockeys that you've had through those years, from Swinburne, Fallon, Ryan Moore, other than just being natural talents, did they have anything else that made you pick them?
The talent is what you're really looking for, but there were jockeys that I also got on very well with. They were real talented professionals.
Well, around the globe, over 4,000 winners, 8 Breeders' Cup races. Thank you for putting up with me, Sir Michael, for this conversation.
It's been hard, but I've quite enjoyed it.
Well, not quite as hard as getting that first Breeders' Cup winner with Bill Sudsky.
Yeah, you're right.
Because to be honest, you made a pig's ear of that.
I know that.
Top man. As far as I can remember, mucking up a stable was never in my contract. For those of you who don't know, Sienna's with me. Mucking up a stable is really clearing up poo, isn't it, Sienna?
Yeah, making sure it's all clean for them to have when they come back in.
Yeah, making sure it's all clean for them. You will realise, here's me doing something for someone else, giving back to the horse, although very sensibly they've removed the horse from the stable. Right, so do I just clean the poo up, yeah?
Yeah.
This is me.
Take all the food and you're going to put it in your wheelbarrow.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much for helping me with this. Well, not helping really at all, but just telling me to clean the poo.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I missed it. It's actually, you wouldn't believe this, but it's harder cleaning poo than you would think. Yeah. You've got to get your foot right into it. This looks done to me. I'm off. All right, I'm back. The one thing I've never been is a quitter. Never. I'm going to get back to it. But while I do that, let's recap the rest of the action from around the world. Hey ho, it's off to work I go.
But it is Crown Pride, a second coronation for Crown Pride, and it's Remake. Too fast, too strong, too good. Remake retains for Japan.
And Win for the money goes on to win the Rogers Woodbine Mile by 2 lengths.
No doubt about it, it is Cogburn. Cogburn scores by 4. They're all coming down to the line, and it's going to be Grand Sonata and Highway Robber. Grand Sonata did it.
National Treasure, Subsonador, and Newgate. 3 of them line up in an absolute thriller. Subsonador in between horses. Here's the line. Subsonador and Mike Smith to win the California Crown Stakes.
In the Classic, we only have Subsanador adding his name to the field. Some race this is shaping up to be. Economics, as we saw, won impressively in the Irish Champion, and he will be joined by Grand Sonata. Win for the Money did just that in Canada, taking the Woodbine Mile in an impressive field, and is joined by Johannes in the Fanju Mile. Crown Pride went back-to-back in the Korea Cup, adding himself to a long list of Japanese hopefuls for the Breeders' Cup. 3 Technique joins him after a rather wet win at Churchill Downs. Remake made it a Japanese double in Korea as he picked up the newly appointed Win and You're In Korea Sprint. I'll tell you what, working in a yard, it's hard. It really is, and I've only touched the surface today. Luckily for me, we've run out of time. Unluckily for me, of course, there's another show next month, and I'm sure the Breeders' Cup team will have something delightful up their sleeve. Speaking of next month, we'll bring you all the action from Ascot and Paris Longchamp. Oh, Breeders' Cup at Del Mar is just around the corner now. It's as if I can smell that Del Mar sea. But if you haven't watched episodes 1, 2 and 3 so far and you're wondering what's all the fuss about, let's just turn once again to a trainer who can tell us just what a great experience the Breeders' Cup is.
It's one of the places everyone wants to be, and really the Breeders' Cup, you have to go there to feel it and experience it to see what it's really like.
So if you want to meet Aidan, or possibly even myself, I mean, between those two people, what choice is there to make? You can, of course, come to the Breeders' Cup yourself. Just go to breederscup.com/tickets and you can join me at Del Mar in November. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Hope you've enjoyed this show. Another one coming up in a month's time.